Once upon a time, there was a boy. Or was it a girl? Start again. Once upon a time, there was a boy who had blonde hair and blue eyes, and his name was... What was his name again? Damn it! Right, focus. Once upon a time, there was a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes, and his name was Matthew, and he was me. See how I made two mistakes there and it didn't matter, because I finished my riveting short story. Well, what if I told you your 3D circumstances are exactly the same? No matter how much you mess up, push the 3D or think negatively, it can always be shifted to get you to your desire, and in this video, I'm going to show you why. Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Matthew. I'm a manifestation coach who has helped many people create some amazing things in their lives. So if you want to be one of those people, by all means check down below in the comment section or the description, you'll see the links to my website. I'm also putting in tons of work to give you guys great content, great deep info going forward, giveaways and all of those kinds of things. So if you could drop me a like and a comment on this video just to let me know you appreciate it and you want more of it going forward, that would be great. And if when you subscribe you could click that bell icon, that way you won't miss one of those videos. I'm also running another giveaway, so you know the rules. By all means comment anything down below and you will be immediately entered into the giveaway. This time I'm giving all of my worksheets away for free. I know a lot of you probably want one-on-one coaching, but I thought I'd switch it up a little bit this time. So if you want all of my worksheets given to you for free, please comment anything down below and you will be entered into that giveaway, which I will announce on Friday. So thank you everyone for participating, everyone who comes to me for coaching, and let's get into this video. The topic of your circumstances really doesn't matter is one of those ones that a lot of us know or have heard, but in those moments when a circumstance is being thrown at us, it is very difficult to move past it or to be able to stay remembering these circumstances really don't matter. But I'm here to show you that they really don't matter. The reason being, your 3D reality is a byproduct of your internal state. It is a byproduct of the dominant thoughts and assumptions that you are continuing to use as reference or going back to or things of that nature. It is the things that you are continuously thinking or the things that you have impressed in your subconscious mind that are just natural assumptions. Now, because your 3D reality is based on nothing but your dominant thoughts and assumptions, when you change those thoughts and assumptions, you will change your reality. Now, I know sometimes it may feel like it's taking a while, or sometimes it happens instantly with some things, but not others. I understand that there will be times when you're like, I've been doing this for so long. Why is this not happening? Now, obviously asking yourself that question is you placing your thoughts and awareness on it not being true, which is obviously going to aid you in not moving that reality to something different. However, your 3D reality does follow your thoughts. So even though it may not be happening instantly or within a day or within a week, the more you are shifting your thoughts and awareness, the more you are shifting into a new reality. Now, I have a visual aid to show you what I mean. I'm not just a messy person. There is a reason for these glasses on my desk right now. These glasses, they are your consciousness. They're your thoughts, your assumptions, yeah? This liquid, which I promise you is 100% orange juice, or orange squash, that is your 3D reality. Your 3D reality is a liquid. Do you see how it's taking shape of this glass? Now, let's say, for example, this glass is no contact. I'm living in a reality where I'm focusing way too much on how they don't want to talk to me and how I haven't heard from them for X amount of time. And my 3D reality is taking shape. It's matching this kind of cylinder-ish bottom of this glass. Now let's assume that I start changing my thoughts and assumptions to we're in the most amazing relationship and that gives us nothing but loving contact and they adore me and they love me and just sweet nothings like that. Hang on a minute. This reality is now going to shift to match this new glass, which is the things that I just listed. You see how that reality now takes shape of this glass? That's because this consciousness was that of no contact. This consciousness was that of being in loving, passionate contact. And as a result, our 3D reality takes shape of this glass. Now let's say, for example, some negative situation happened and I really badly reacted to something and impressed my subconscious mind with some hot and cold behavior. The loving relationship, now turns into this glass, which is hot and cold behavior. You see how, again, even though this glass is like kind of like a, I'm going to guess an octagon without counting, an octagonal shape, the liquid takes perfect shape of that glass. That's because your reality merely shifts to match your consciousness. The reality isn't like a solid thing. Like, let's say this is my consciousness and this is my reality. Oh, they don't match. That's not how it works. Your reality is a liquid and takes shape or form of whatever you are dominantly feeding it through thoughts and assumptions. So if you find yourself in a situation right now that isn't desired, nothing but your old thoughts is playing out. Nothing but your old thoughts and assumptions that have had time to ruminate and to grow is now playing out. Which means what you are dealing with is more of a memory than actual reality, because it's based on old thoughts and old assumptions. But if you are right now placing your awareness dominantly on what you want to experience, your reality has zero choice but to match that of whatever it is that you're claiming to be true right now. Your reality, like I said, is a liquid. Your consciousness is the glasses, and you, the individual that directs that consciousness, is the one pouring that liquid into a new glass. We got reality here, liquid, consciousness, and me being the dictator of where my consciousness goes. Oh, I'm having a negative thought. Let me just direct that to a positive one. I'm now pouring this liquid to take shape of a new glass. That is exactly how your reality works. And that is exactly how your reality or your circumstance doesn't matter. It's not set in stone. It's not so, like I showed with the glasses case. I'm not trying to shove my glasses case into those glasses and saying, yeah, it fits. It's a liquid, which means it will take shape of whatever it is you're pouring it into. And in this case, it's pouring it into a new state of consciousness to therefore receive a new reality. So I hope that gives you like a good visual representation of how all of this kind of works. But I wanted to go into something to kind of further this a little bit more. And this is the idea that there's always movement, because, you know, circumstances don't matter and there's always movement are usually said within the same sort of ballpark. So I want to give you some examples of how this might work for you, and how even though your circumstance right now isn't shifting to what it is that you want directly, there could be things going on in the background that are showing those shifts happening. So let's take, for example, a job. You have gone for a job interview. Now, let's say you were affirming for a position at this place, specifically, let's just say £10,000, just to make it simple. You wanted to work for this company for £10,000, yeah? Let's say there was another person that wanted to work for this company also who interviewed for it. Now, you go to the job interview and they're saying, the job's only offering 8k, sorry. So not only is it not the money that you want, but you're also now having to battle against someone else for this job. You then find out that this other person actually got the job. Now, most people would see this as, well, what the hell? You know, I was affirming this is negative, this is all these awful things, you know, pouring that reality into a new glass that's negative. But then you continue to affirm because circumstances don't matter. You know that this doesn't matter, so you continue to affirm or visualize or script or do anything of that nature, any techniques that you use to direct your thoughts. And then you get a call from those employers a week later. The person decided they didn't actually want a job. They went for somewhere else. We'd like to offer you the job. But then you go, but you were only offering 8k. And then they say, well, because you're our only candidate, what would it take? And you say, you know what, 10k. And they go, done. Now you have the job that you were originally going for and for the money that you were also originally going for. But initially the circumstance was less money and someone else got the job. Now, obviously, yes, this is a very specific situation, but you see how circumstances don't actually matter in a lot of cases. I mean, circumstances don't matter ever in terms of like, you know, shifting your reality. But even from a 3D logical perspective, this circumstance showed I didn't get my job, oh shit, and then, oh wait, but then they gave me the job like a week later, and it was for the money that I wanted. Now let's assume that they didn't have that other candidate, and you went straight away for that 8k. You would have got a reality or a desired end that wasn't so desired because you settled for the 8k. But instead, by knowing circumstances but don't matter, by not caring that they were offering less, and by not caring that someone else got the job, you continue to persist, and then boom, they offered you the job because that person got a job somewhere else, and boom, they offered you the amount of money that you actually asked to have in the first place. Now this is actually very similar to my own personal experience when I manifested a job, which is why I've used it as a reference. Not quite specifically like this, But I wanted a specific wage. I got denied this job twice by this company. And then the recruiter, the head of recruitment, called me back on my third time and said, we're offering two jobs. You can either work for me and my thingy, or you can work for a different department. And it turned out the different department was less money than this one. Now, I could have settled for that other department and got less money. But instead, I chose to persist in this person, in this role that I wanted, even though I had been denied twice by this company prior and got the wage that I was affirming for and got the job that I was affirming for also. Now, I know it's not exactly the same as the scenario, but I got denied twice and was offered a lower wage, but still persisted and then got offered the role as well as the higher wage. So I have been in a circumstance where it feels like everything is against you and still got the job. Not many people will persist past being denied by a company twice. Not many people would still continue to persist even when the company finally offers you a role, but it's less wage. Most people, if they really wanted to work for them, would have snatched that up immediately. But I knew that that circumstance did not matter, and I continued to persist, and I got it anyway. So this is just like a little example about how, even when the circumstances seem so dire, you can get your desired reality by just persisting in it, by knowing that all you are doing is holding a glass with a certain reality, and all you need to do is pour that reality into a different glass, a different state of awareness. You will get another, a different reality. Another example, if we go with specific person, you hear your specific person's going on holiday with their third party. You feel horrific. You're like, well, that's it then. If they're going on holiday, they're going to be doing this and fun and yada, yada, yada. But you know circumstances don't matter, so you continue to affirm or persist anyway. Now, let's say, for example, while they're on holiday, the guy looks at another chick a bit too long and then the girlfriend leaves, opening him up to come back to you because he realised, oh, actually, none of these people that I was looking at on holiday or this girlfriend was as good as you. Comes back, hits you up, you guys hit it off, and now you're back together. Or, on the flip side, if it's a guy and a girl, let's say, for example, you're trying to manifest your boyfriend back and he's on holiday with his girlfriend and she's just nagging and nagging and nagging and she's like, I want to go here and I want to go here, and he's just like, my previous SP, which is you, would have been so much better on this holiday. And then he starts thinking about you, and then he's like, oh, actually, you know what? I should have just brought them instead. Comes home, they break up, he hits you up and you hit it off. There's just a couple of examples where even when the 3D circumstances is dire, you can get your manifestation. You never know what's happening on in the background. You never know what is actually going on. We all are like, I want to see movement, I want to see proof, I want to see this, I want to see that. I mean, yeah, great if you see the movement, but would you rather have movement behind the scenes and then get your desire randomly, or have movement happening in front of you, but then maybe it doesn't go anywhere for a little while? What would you rather deal with? Like breadcrumbs or nothing, allowing you to focus on your end result and then boom, manifestation? Because again, using my own experience, that's exactly what happened when I manifested Katie back. Not a single sign, not a single birds before land, nothing. And then randomly called me, and then the rest is history. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes. And you also know that circumstances don't matter. There is always a positive to be had in any circumstance. There is always a silver lining that you can find. Even in the worst of situations, you will be able to find a silver lining. So just kind of like use those examples as ways to prove to yourself or to show yourself or to remind your logical 3D mind, your logical conscious mind, that circumstances don't matter, and here's why. You've got the analogy there to show you that you're just pouring liquid, reality, into a new glass, consciousness, thoughts and assumptions, and that's all you are doing to shift the reality. And then use the other part as like little examples to show how, movement is always happening in the background and circumstances really don't matter. Even the worst of circumstances could have a great outcome. And if you persist in that great outcome, you will get it, because you are the one pouring that glass. So pour it into a glass you like. Pour it into a funky shape with a snazzy straw or something. I don't care. Pour it into something where you can come back and comment, Matthew, I've done it. I love my reality. Me and my specific person are on the moon together and everything is amazing, because that's all I want for you. but you're the one that has to choose what glass you're pouring it into. If you've enjoyed this video so far, please be sure to drop me a like and a comment just to let me know. And don't forget, there is the competition going on as well to win all of my worksheets completely free. And that includes the new self-concept worksheet that I've had amazing feedback from my testers. So comment anything you like down below and you will be entered into that giveaway, and you could save yourself some money on some amazing worksheets. With that out of the way, let's get back into this final point. This final point is more of a specific question that I was asked that I thought I would address in this video because it covers it quite well. Now, this question was asked in a comment section, and it was basically saying, what do you do when you have negative feedback from your specific person or the people around you? What do you do when you're trying to manifest something and your specific person says, no, I'm really not interested in you, leave me alone? Or your mum and dad say, well, why would you want this person? They're just going to leave you anyway, or something like that. Now, this is a great question. Now, the answer to this question I've already covered in this video with obviously the explanation of stuff. However, because of this question, there is one slight extra thing I want to give you to take away from. That is, what does your circumstance mean to you? Now, our circumstances, they mean nothing. They really do mean nothing. You could shift them, you can enjoy them, you can stay in them, you can do whatever you want. But a lot of the people allow their circumstances to get to them because it validates some kind of negative story that's going on within inside them. For example, if I grew up broke, I spent the first 20 years of my life broke, and someone called me broke, yeah, that would probably hurt. That would probably suck because it validates the fact that I'm broke and I don't have a lot of money. But let's say, for example, I spent the first 20 years growing up broke, and then I spent the next 30 years, so by this point I'm 50, building up 3 amazing companies. I'm a multi-billionaire, and someone calls me broke. Do you think it's going to bother me? Probably not. Because yes, I may have grown up broke, but I accept that past, I shifted that reality, and I'm now extremely rich. So if someone calls me broke, I'm not going to care because it doesn't validate any kind of story inside me. It doesn't validate any kind of story inside of me. When you're anchored to a 3D circumstance or to a negative thought or to a negative feeling or to anything that someone says or thinks, you are assuming that thing to hold power over you. There is a negative story within going on that is validated by that negative thing. So for example, let's say for example, you said example twice. So let's say for example that you have a negative story of I'm not good enough. And then your specific person shows up and says, I'm really not interested in you, please leave me alone. That's going to make you feel not good enough, which is going to suck because you already felt not good enough. You were already anchored to this negative thing because of that story inside of you. Now, let's say, for example, I was like the most attractive, rich, charismatic, amazing person in the world. And someone says, look, I just really am not interested in you, go away. Do you think I would care? No. I mean, yeah, sure, I might be like, hang on a minute, like, I've got all of this stuff going for me, so why don't you want me? But I'm not going to care because I guarantee the other 99% of women out there with all of those traits that I have in this idealistic world, they're going to be interested in it. So I'm not going to care as much if one person doesn't want me because there's like 3 billion others that would. So this shows that we only get hurt by people's thoughts, feelings, the 3D reality, if it validates some kind of negative story that we have going on inside. If we can find that negative story and start working on it, so taking the not good enough example as this example, if I start working on feeling good enough, doing things in the 3D that make me feel good enough and like a priority, telling myself I'm more than good enough, revising any previous relationships that made me feel not good enough, I will shift that story. I will pour my reality into a new glass of feeling good enough. And then the first thing that could happen is those people will no longer think that way because I've shifted a new reality in which I feel good enough, and as a result, I'll start experiencing those kind of things more. But B, let's say, for example, they don't shift, I'm not going to care. If someone says, oh, you're not good enough, but I feel like a god inside, I'm not going to care what someone says. I'm not going to care what people think. I'm not going to care what goes on outside because I validate myself and I trust myself. So if you feel that your circumstances really do matter, even though I've shown you that they don't, try this. Look into why you're anchored to that circumstance or to those thoughts. Why are you allowing your 3D reality to validate some negative story, or what is that negative story that 3D reality is validating? and then work on it at its root core. If you tackle the root of the weed cannot grow. So tackling the root of your inner story means that those negative feelings that come up as a result of that story, they cannot grow. They don't have space to grow because there's no space for them to grow. So I really hope that answers that question. The person who asked that question, which I can't remember off the top of my head, but I probably put it somewhere here just to show you that it was asked. I really hope that answers your question. And to everyone else, I really hope this video has been good. If it has, obviously leave me a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.